See? All right, guys. Thanks for joining me here. This is episode 6 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele, and I have 2 special guests today. Now, no pressure, guys. We're coming off of the episode where we had Dan Zlotnick, then we had David Childers last week. So no pressure at all for these 2 guys who I don't know if they prepared music, but they should have, because you guys are singing something tonight, right?
Did not.
No? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, we have 2 guests. Jack Poynor is a guitar player extraordinaire, as Mike may not know this yet, but Jack is an amazing guitar player. We heard his song to kick off the show here tonight. Surprise. Jack Poynor, Avetts super fan as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. And Michael Ganz is here. He is, of course, the mayor of Avettville. Can we say, is that your official title? Is that on your business card, or?
That's what my wife calls me. I don't know if anybody else does.
Well, I just did, so it's official. And you're also Jim Avetts' favorite Avetts fan. Per the show,
we just call him back of the line Ganz.
There you go.
There you go.
That's right.
So guys, I appreciate you coming on with me. Wanted to do something a little different this week and talk to fans about the Avetts brothers and their music, their artwork, just everything in general about being an Avetts fan. And what I've learned over the last few years is it's a special place to be. And I never expected it. I found the band on a podcast. I knew about them a long time ago, but I never listened to them. And John Boy, Jimmy O'Brien, was doing a podcast, an old podcast, where he was playing music and like breaking down songs lyrics, and he was giving his definition of what they meant and all this stuff. And he did an episode with the Avetts brothers, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen to this. And I was instantly hooked, ended up downloading all their music and listening to everything and just being sucked into this whole thing. And through that, discovered that the fan base is like nothing I've ever seen before in music. And I don't know, maybe other bands have a following like this. I'm sure they do, but I've never seen it. It's like a family, everyone. And it just blows my mind how a band can bring people together and make you feel things and act differently towards other people. And it's just a testament to the family and how they were brought up, and how they treat other people. And I think it just rubs off on the fans. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you said it. You said it well. The description of the Facebook group I run, or help to run, Rejects in the Attic, is a family of friends brought together by the love of a band. That's how we describe our group. And I really think it. I really think it is. I know it seems corny and a lot of people don't get it, but it feels like a family to me.
You're right. A lot of people don't seem to get it. Like my wife still, she's like, are you in a cult?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. It kind of feels like it sometimes, but I just love the music and the people, and it's just, it makes me happy. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. And the thing is, to that point, I mean, we have a lot of rejects or Avetts fans that will travel solo to shows, and they're never alone. There's family all around them, and that's just amazing, because we all will do things outside the show, meet up here or there. We swap stickers, we drink beers together. I mean, just this last weekend for New Year's Eve, we all got together and did a big fundraiser too. So that was all for press on funds.
Yeah, talk more about that, because I know you were involved with doing stuff for that. Tell me about what happened.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, God, Jack, it seems like it's only been hours since I saw you last, and that's because it has.
Yeah, so press on fund, of course, is Bob's charity, affiliated with St. Jude's because of his daughter Hallie and the brain tumor, and
Sure.
And for New Year's Eve, we like to get together as a group. We'll sell tickets to the event, and all the proceeds will go to press on. Fans will donate merchandise. The band will sign some of it, and then we'll have silent auctions and raffles to raise money for press on. And I know of course, during the COVID years, we had to go to an online format. And Tanya Marsh does an extraordinary job of running that. She's a super fan that has had her hand in a lot of the events with Press On. And this year, Danny Platt ran the event. And I brought 11 posters. Ganz brought posters. We put those up for raffle or for auction, silent auction. And we helped to set up, sell some tickets. And then at the end, there was mass chaos, me handing out posters, and I had a lot of help. Carol Hines, who's a reject, jumped in and was extraordinary, helping me out, pass stuff out at the end. And I think all told, we raised maybe around 15,000, which,
Wow.
is a good total. I think the online we've raised 50,000 before. So
Wow.
it's pretty incredible.
That is 15,000 is amazing, but 50,000?
Yeah.
And that all goes to St. Jude, right?
Yes.
Well, Press On.
Oh, Press On, right.
Right.
Yeah, over the years, I think the total's well over 100,000. I mean, if you add up all the separate fundraisers, we sell merch throughout the year, and rejects, t-shirts and hats and stuff, and all the proceeds go to Press On. And Eric Neville, who's been in the group for a long time, he's a master woodworker out of Wisconsin. He did a thing a few years ago called Frame It Forward, and auctioned off posters, and he custom made frames for all the posters.
Wow, that's cool.
That raised $35,000, that one fundraiser. So yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to charity. And
I was just gonna say, this is no joke. I mean, you're raising real money here for a great cause. And
I'm saying 100,000. I bet it's over 200,000. Just thinking about the numbers.
And of course, we had your guest from last week. He
David
played the event, David Childers and the Serpents.
David Childers, your best friend, by the way.
He's a good friend, but he's got a lot of friends.
He's such a nice great guy. He's such a great guy. Yeah, such a great guy.
His wife Linda's great too.
Yeah, I was chatting with him again today, and I shouldn't really say this yet, but he hooked me up with someone for a future episode of my show that I've been in touch with, and it's gonna happen. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So he's like, I really appreciate what you're doing for us. And I'm like, man, I have like 10 people listen to this show, it seems like, but maybe more people are listening than I think. I don't know. But he was real appreciative and wants to help me out too at the same time. It's just the vibe of the Avetts and beyond. It's just amazing how everyone is just so friendly and down to earth. And
it is. Yeah, it's not just about money. There's a support we all give each other when it's needed.
Well,
like any family would.
Yeah, and you said the Facebook page you run, Rejects in the Attic. That place it's amazing when someone's down, when something happens to someone, or their family, a family member, people step up and really legitimately help these people out, like in unreal ways, not just money, but with food or whatever. It's really something to see.
In all kinds of ways. I have a pretty good memory of like where people live and all that stuff around the country. I've sent so many stickers out myself. And there's been so many times where people are like, I'm going to be driving from Wisconsin to Charlotte. Does anybody know, can I crash somewhere? And there's like a network of rejects all over the country. I haven't paid to stay someplace in years because I know somebody in like every city. So it's just like, and everybody's houses are always open to each other. And that's the part that like people don't get. Like, you're like, do you know this guy you're staying with? Like, no, I don't know him, but he's in the group. No, he's good. Like, if I was ever driving through, can't imagine why I would ever be driving through Houston, but I would totally feel comfortable stopping at Jack's house and spending some time with him.
Right. Well, they sell the best trash cans in the country.
There it is.
I've heard they have good beer.
That's true. And Jack, Jack sent me a 12-pack of beer last Christmas, and it was empty, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to get busted by the law of
No, I
sending
know.
alcohol into the state of New York.
I'm just kidding. It's an awesome 12 pack of what's the type of beer again?
It's like a holiday ale. It's you'll shoot your eye out. You'll YULE.
Right.
Whatever.
It's got the fragile leg from
Love it.
Christmas Story on, and it's the same brewery, Carbot, that
Carbot,
brews
that's
Crawford. They brew the Crawford Bot beer that's got the Astros logo on it.
That's right.
And that's when Dan Zlotnick played the home show. I made sure his ice chest was full of Crawford Bot beer with the Astro logo on it.
Sure, he appreciated that. The
He
beer.
did. He did.
But I got to tell you that the little 12 pack that you sent me, or 6 pack, whatever it was, I put out for as a decoration again this year for Christmas. So
Yeah, and even the carton is it's shaped like the crate that the leg comes in the movie. So it's
which is why I put it out again. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I just love that. So yeah, thanks for sending that along again.
Sure.
All right, so one thing I want to ask you guys each separately is how you became fans. Like, how did you discover the band? Jack, you want to start?
Yeah. So back in 2012, my daughter was going on a college campus visit to a Colorado School of Mines. It's an engineering school in Golden, Colorado, and it's near Red Rocks Amphitheater. So ever since I saw U2 and from Red Rocks in the early 80s, I go, man, I got to get there someday. So I don't care who's playing, we're going. So I looked up on there and I'm like, okay, I have no idea who these guys are, and I was leaning towards pronouncing it as Avetts Brothers. I thought Avetts, maybe Avetts, but Avetts was maybe my third choice.
Right.
And then I remember being disappointed because I said, well, if we would go a couple weeks later, we could see Tenacious D and Jack Black.
Oh man, yeah.
Playing there. I know who they are, so but I'm going, well, that's just the week it worked out that we went that week. And so I downloaded all this music illegally from, back when we would do that kind of thing,
Was it Napster or whatever?
Yeah. And, I got basically all the Avett catalog, and we pretty much just listened to it all the way up there. And I wasn't quite sold on it. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, some of the older stuff, it's pretty raw and but then when we got to I Am Loving You, okay, all right, yeah, that's and then emotionalism, of course. So I like kind of what I was hearing there. But of course we went to the show, and so Red Rocks is your first show. It's kind of hard to beat that, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty cool.
And that was the first year I think they did a 2-night run. We just went the first night, and I do remember there was a couple that got engaged with the opener. I can't remember the name of the band, but so that was kind of neat, and we had a good time. We thought we loved the band, like okay, I get this. Yeah, they're a great band live, and they had a bunch of fires going on around that vicinity of Colorado. They were passing the boot along, the firemen, and I think they raised like $20,000 each night, filling the boot up, to go to the people that were victims of the fires, and people were just like really nice and warm, as far as the fan base, and the music was great. So that was my first introduction to them, and I was kind of a casual fan for probably about the first 3 years or so, or 5 years. I went to just a couple more shows, and then we went to Mexico for the very first Avett at the Beach, and that's when I really go, okay, yeah, yeah, there you go. And so we hadn't looked back since then. So
how many shows have you been to now?
The New Year's Eve made 56, which is a decent amount, but there's plenty of people up there in the hundreds and are pushing 100, but
right,
and maybe I'll get there someday. But
well, I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah,
a couple more years of 3-night runs and you'll be there.
That's right.
All right, so that's a cool story. Michael, how about you?
Well, I was chuckling throughout that because there's a lot of similarities. For one thing, 2012, I could take you to the exact spot. I was working for the town of Bar Harbor in Bar Harbor, Maine, the corner of Eden and West Streets at about 7:30 in the morning in May of, I'd have to look at a calendar to tell you the exact date, but it was a Friday morning. And there was a community radio station up there that played a lot of stuff that was not on regular commercial radio. And the DJ said, here's a song by a band out of North Carolina called the Avetts Brothers. And he said it wrong too. I later became friends with the DJ and had to correct him on it. But I Am Loving You. And I sat in this work truck and stared at that radio, like transfixed at this, from the first line of the song, like, what is this? I was hooked like immediately. There's a line in that song, that woman, she's got eyes that shine like a pair of stolen polished dimes. And I actually looked at the guy. I was like, why are the dimes stolen? I was hooked, like that line just like sucked me right in. And that night I went home. My internet was much slower than Jack's. We had like dial-up internet living in the woods of Maine. So I downloaded the album. It took like 6 hours to download the I Am Loving You album. I was up all night, literally like at 1:00 in the morning, listening to this album. And by Laundry Room, which is I think like track 8, I had a new favorite band. I was like, I am in. And then I had to wait to actually see them live. I'm like Jack, who got to see them live right away. But that September, I saw them in Guilford, New Hampshire for the first time. And I was just totally moved. The transference of energy from the band to the crowd and back, and how they feed off each other. It was like, I've been to lots and lots and lots of concerts from other bands. It's like been my passion of my life. So I'd never seen that before. It was just the transference of energy back and forth was like nothing. And I was hooked, hook, line, and sinker immediately from that night.
That's great. So how many shows have you been to now? I know the number, but other people may not.
New Year's Eve was 95.
So you're pushing 100.
Okay. If I don't add any more shows this year and we go to Red Rocks, which I think we're going to, night 2 of Red Rocks, which will actually be my 6th anniversary, which we got married at Red Rocks.
Wow.
We'll be show number 100. So
that's cool. So you're going to be going, I'm going to a show in May at Beacon Skiff in Lafayette, New York. So that will be one of those shows leading up to 100, but that's not
correct.
Not going to be number 100 for you.
There are 2 shows at Beacon Skiff. Those will be
right.
96 and 97. And then we're going to Providence, Rhode Island a couple days later, 98. Yeah, I have it all marked out on a calendar.
Oh, I'm sure that's pretty cool. How many, I know there's other people that have been to over 100 shows. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the number is. How many people have seen them over 100 times? That to me is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's quite a few. I know a good friend of mine, Kristen Russell's at like 120.
Yeah, she goes everywhere.
Yeah, she travels all over. A lot of the people who are there from the early days, when they used to play 5 shows a week, they're in the upper 100s.
That's
DC
crazy.
And DC Ranger fan who's been with the band forever is in the 200s.
Oh yeah, he's got to be. He's got videos going way back. They're on YouTube if you search his page out. But then you look at me here. I consider myself a big fan, but I've only been to 1 show live. What's wrong with me?
The number of shows you've been to does not equate to how big of a fan you are. I mean,
it really doesn't.
Yeah, I saw you at that 1 show. I happened to be there, and I saw how into it you were. So there are people who've never gotten to see the band yet and are as big of an Avett fan as anybody. So.
Right. Well, sure. But I'll never forget that night. It was my first show, and I brought my then 10-year-old daughter, Kylie, and we got right up on the rail, front row, which I still can't believe we got that for our first show, to get up on the front. And she was blown away. I was blown away. And just the people were so nice around us. Like, we were warned about, there are going to be people trying to push up on you because you're in the front. Some people drink a little bit too much, whatever, and they try to push up. We had people, because I had my young daughter with me, guarding the area and like forcing people away from us, just so we could enjoy the night there on the front, not have to worry about drunk people around my 10-year-old. But it was just such an awesome night, and I wish I could get to 95 more shows. But hey, I'll get to number 2, maybe 3 this year. We'll see where we go from there.
One thing I wanted to mention is my daughter did wind up going to college there at School of Mines. She graduated, lived in the Denver area, so we had a lot of opportunity to go to a lot of shows in Red Rocks over the years. So,
who else have you seen there?
That is the only band I've seen there, other than the openers for the Avetts. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Headliner I've been to. Yeah,
I know there's who's a Ken that lives out there. That
that's right.
He
Ken
seems,
Whitman.
he seems to live at Red Rocks. I think he's there all the time and has seen everybody over the years.
He'd been there since the '60s. He went to shows back in the '60s.
Wow, I've seen a lot of people there.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of music. There's that's the thing too. Like there's the Avett Brothers fans seem to be fans of many other bands as well, which is kind of why I wanted to do this show the way that I'm doing it, because there's so much great music that kind of ties in together, like just the attitude of the artists, whatever, other artists that have worked with the Avett Brothers. It's just a tight knit community, kind of like the fan base. Like you see artists like Brandi Carlile, who's becoming huge now. She's done a lot of stuff with the Avetts over the years. Who else?
I saw her open up for the Avetts at Madison Square Garden.
There you go. That's the concert that's on May It Last, right?
It is, yeah.
They didn't show her on there. That's going back. I mean, she wasn't a big deal, I guess, back then, though.
Yeah, how times have changed.
Yeah, that's
crazy. It would be. I think it would be the other way around if they played Madison Square Garden today.
Yeah, and she was also at the first Avett at the Beach as well.
Man, how great was that?
That was awesome.
Were you there too, Mike? Or
yeah,
you were?
Yeah, I don't think I met Jack though. I don't think I met Jack till a couple years later.
Yeah, we didn't meet until it was August 2019 at Berkeley.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about is like the artwork involved with the band. Like Scott is obviously an artist, Seth is an artist, their father Jim is an artist, and it kind of is like a thing with the Avett Brothers. I know what other bands do an awful lot of artwork. They commission artists to do their concert posters and stuff, but it seems like a really special thing with the Avetts for these posters for concerts and other, artwork and things like that. What do you think about that?
Well, I know
you got some there behind you.
yeah. So I have some posters. You'll see this one painting. This is Pete, who does the lighting for the Avetts, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in the way here, but if you could see his little pinky finger, Pete told me it's actually bent, and that's based off Scott's banjo fret hand. He has a bent pinky supposedly from playing banjo. So that was a little inside tip I got.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay attention to that too.
Yeah. And then next that I got, Pete also has done. He's a poster artist as well. He's done some posters, so I got a set of his posters there. And then a lot of the original artwork behind me is David Childers' artwork. So and I got a lot more around here. There's just a small corner of my world here. This is my home office where I just kind of throw caution to the wind. All the home decorating rules go out the window, and I just start throwing stuff up there. Other parts of the house, it's more, a little bit more thought going into laying stuff out maybe, but this is my home office, so I do what I want here.
And I have my first David Childers painting en route to my house right now. I'm so excited for it. It's supposed to show up on Friday, so I'm excited to get that. But
yeah, I go in for his skeletons. My wife likes his seascapes, so we got some of that downstairs in her office. So,
do you have any wall space left in your house?
I do. There's certain walls I'm prohibited from decorating because my wife's kind of claimed those. So, yeah. There's still some open space.
We're the same. It's probably half and half with Avett posters, framed Avett posters, and family photos.
I see one behind you there. That's a pretty sought after poster.
Yeah, there's quite
two of them.
Yeah, the two together. There's
I have those framed together in my house as well, right next to each other.
The baseball photo. The Avetts have a history of playing the baseball games, and Darren Schock does those, and those are sought after.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of the Darren Schock posters. I love those.
We've managed to get all those.
I have a whole corner of my house with that, and actually have seats from the Astrodome right by it because I, grew up in the Astrodome as a kid. Because my dad's company had season tickets back in the day. So yeah, it's my old baseball corner. I got all Darren Shock stuff there and a few other baseball that aren't Darren's, but
Darren,
the artwork is a big part of it. Doing the how many poster artists they support, because there's a different poster for every show, and those posters become sentimental in their to all of us as well. I mean, I have framed posters from my very first show. My wife found me that and got it framed, and because I didn't even know about posters then, you didn't even know
you
it
hear
was a
that a
thing.
lot,
So
right?
there was only 85 of those. That poster made, it was a cat lamp. We have another one framed from when we got married at Red Rocks. Another one framed from when I proposed at Red Rocks the year before. So the poster becomes part of the memory of those shows and the artists that are tied to it.
yeah, and then especially during the pandemic, those guys didn't have any gigs to make posters for. So, I was buying a lot of their work, supporting them as far as, their art prints, and some of them maybe at one time were Avetts posters, but these were now the prints without the gig information on them, and like Jim Mazza's one that
Yeah, we have.
got a lot of his prints during the pandemic, and
Garrett Moreland kind of took advantage of the whole pandemic thing and went with his
yes,
at-home series, which
yep,
I love that stuff.
I'm looking at it right now. It's all along my wall that's in front of me.
I have all of his stuff up that I have in my office at work, and
Yeah, and I actually
that.
Garrett, I actually got him. He just sent me out a commission today. I had him do a it's non-Avid, but it's a Big Lebowski
Oh, nice.
of the dude and Walter. He did some drawings for me.
I'm gonna get Garrett on this show at one point. I've kind of talked to him about it, but I'm gonna talk more about it. But I've got to get him on to talk to him because he's a fascinating guy. First of all, the stuff that he's done with his normal everyday
Right.
gig, but
Yes.
the concert posters, I think he's really amazing the way he does his work.
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, Todd Slater's a really good artist. He's down here in Austin, so he's a Texas guy. I got a lot of his stuff. I mean, you get to know these artists pretty well, because we treasure their posts, we treasure their work, and it's just a great memory of
and I love how they interact with the fans just as much as other fans. I mean, they're just part of the groups, and it's like they're just everyday people, but they're doing these amazing pieces of art that so many people are trying to get their hands on. I just love it. I love that aspect of this whole thing. And I want to get him. How has John Crow never done a poster for the?
I was just gonna talk about John Crow. That's gotta happen.
How has he not done a poster yet for
The guy
them?
is so talented. Well, he's done a gym show. There's a gym poster up there on the wall that John Crow did. And I got one of his John Prine prints that he did. The guy is crazy talented.
Yeah.
So we got to get him on an Avid poster.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did a Nolan Ryan commission for me. So I have the original painting, and then also bought a print and a T-shirt.
Nice.
Print on it.
Yeah, he's another one I'm gonna get on my show here too to talk to and see if we can get him a commission for doing one of the shows. But his art, he's really the most talented IT guy out there in the world. John Crow. So go look up the Avid artists and check out all their work, all their websites. So many cool things out there that you can get. We're running out of time here, guys. We only got like 9 minutes left. Zoom is so weird that it only gives you 40 minutes, but it helps.
Goes by fast.
Yeah, it does. It really goes by fast, but it helps me to keep my show in order, actually. So I don't go, oh my gosh, we talked for so long that I have no time to play any music. One thing I talked to you guys about that we're going to do after this interview ends, you each pick 3 songs that are going to play to wrap up my show. Do you want to talk about your songs, Michael? Do you want to start?
Well, Please Pardon Yourself has been my favorite Avid song forever. Like there's very often comes up, there's a poll, what are your 10 favorite, what song should I play for somebody who's just getting into the band?
Yeah.
All those types of things. Please Pardon Yourself has been my favorite Avid song since the first time I heard it. Numbers 2 through 10 change daily, but so that's one of them. The day will come, the sun will shine, and we'll be fine. Like that line keeps me going all the time.
Great line. So many great
all-
lines, but that is a great line.
All My Mistakes is the song that I proposed to my wife to at Red Rocks. The band was in on it. They played it for us. It was a great moment.
Okay, wait, pause. How did you get the band involved with that? How did this happen? We have to know.
Over the years, I've developed a friendship with Tanya Elizabeth, fiddle player for the band. She got it. I emailed her leading up to that weekend, asked her if she could get it on the set list. Going into that, she asked like what night. I said night 1. There's no way I can keep this a secret like all 3 nights. She was supposed to text me like before the show, so I knew it was going to happen, so I could mentally prepare. And she didn't text me night 1, so I was like, "Oh crap, it didn't happen." And
No.
at one point, like I don't know, the 4th or 5th song in the night, we made eye contact, and she made like, "Oh, I forgot." So then, I think during Murder in the City, when a song that she doesn't play on, she texted me from backstage and said, "It's the song after Give Me a Kiss." And I let everybody know in our row because they all had candles they were going to light for us.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was pretty, when 10,000 people cheer when Seth Avetts says she said yes, that was like one of the greatest moments of, my life. I've had people tell me,
cool.
I've had people tell me you ruined proposals forever. Like there's nobody.
Is it on video somewhere? It must be.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. My wife jokes at me, it's got like 12,000 views, and she says 11,000 of those are you. I don't think she's wrong.
Well, I'm going to go search that one out tonight.
And the third song is, of course, Rejects in the Attic, the group that means so much to me and named after that song. And that had to be one of the 3.
What version do you want me to play? The live version or the...
Yeah, the live one from Live Volume 4 is pretty great because that was one of the first times I think they played it for anybody. It had been played before that, but that was like a big recording of it.
Well, I know there's the studio version that shows up on, what was it, the Target release?
The Target edition.
Yeah.
I don't know how it didn't make the original cut, but
I can't believe that either. But I like the live version better too.
They played it live this New Year's Eve, and Jack got a great video of it. It's a great moment because the first line of the song is "I've been hanging out with the Rejects in the Attic." And it's become a thing where all the members of the group who are in attendance let out a roar when that happens.
And there was a lot there.
It was deafening. It was, and it came from all over the venue. And man, I was there on the rail in the front row, and I got choked up. It was just like, wow, that was.
You had a big part of that, right?
That group started with maybe 50 people, and we're up to 3,500 or so.
That's crazy. What do you think the band?
I think half of them were at that show.
What do you think the band thinks of the fans, the fan groups and stuff? Do bands get into that, or do you think they're like, what are these people doing? I don't. With them, I think they're probably
They're definitely aware. I know Bob is aware of the fundraising efforts we've done, and his wife Melanie and I are Facebook friends, and we'll talk about what money's been raised and stuff. And so I know when that roar came out, Seth got a big smile on his face, like he's aware of the group. I think probably 25 of us were in the front row wearing our Rejects t-shirts too, so that gave it away. I think they're aware of the good and the bad that can come from some of the fan groups.
Yeah, well, I think most of it's good though with the Avid fans.
90% of it is good.
Definitely. All right, Jack, you actually get 4 songs because of the song we played to kick off the show here. That I don't even know how to describe that one. Other than it kind of sounds like a kid version of a Rage Against the Machine song. I'm not.
Yeah. It was a rainy day in Ohio, and I have a friend that's a musician that has a studio in his basement, and we went over there, and I just threw together a little guitar riff, and he dropped a bass line over it and some electronic drums, and then we put a couple microphones out in the middle of the room, and just told my kids to say whatever comes to your mind. And they did, and you'll hear, and well, as you heard, I was watching a lot of South Park back in those days, and I guess I didn't realize my kids were picking up on that as much as they are.
I can't wait to hear it.
It's something. It's
something.
It is something. I loved it. And how old are they now? And how old were they when this was recorded?
My son is turning 31 in January. My daughter's 27.
How old are they on this recording?
Back then, I think my son was maybe 11 and my daughter about
Wow.
8 or 9.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to check this out because they're gonna be superstars now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
all
I
right.
told them that. Yeah, we might have it on there. They're kind of embarrassed, but
It's
that's
only
okay.
it's only leading off the show. No big deal. No big deal. All right, so tell us about your 3 songs. There.
All right. First one I'm going with is Langhorne Slim. Langhorne's a big part of the Avid community. He's loved by all the fans. Every fan basically has had a picture taken with him at some point in time. He's played Mexico and the Dominican at the beach. We just saw him down here in Texas early December. A group of us went. Great show, awesome performer. So I picked The Way We Move was my favorite song, and he almost always plays it almost every show. Then being from Texas, Sleep at the Wheels, a group I like a lot, and they've had some collaboration with the Avetts. You've had Seth do Willie Got There First. I didn't pick that though. I went with an old Bob Wills Texas Playboys song, Girl I Left Behind.
Love it.
And then for the third song,
just to interject there's a version of that from Austin City Limits with the Avetts on that.
Yes.
Both fiddle players, Tanya's on it. The Asleep at the Wheels fiddle player, that's a killer.
Yes.
That's
and
my request.
I've seen them at the little music hall or dance hall in Lukenbach, Texas, and it's like unbelievable to see them. That's in that venue. It's crazy. And they're playing there again soon, so I'll try to get tickets and go to that again. And then the last one is Clem Snide, since Scott Avitt produced his last album, Eve, who was also, big with the Avitt fans. And I'm actually going to go see him play on my birthday in February 28th coming up. And he'll be playing at a local club here. He does a lot of home shows too, which I certainly want to try to set that up, but he had a show here anyway,
Nice.
so it worked out. And that song is Some Ghosts. It's the last song on the album.
Great song.
And
I love
Scott sings in that song. So
all right. Well, that's great. I thank you guys so much for contributing to songs and coming on with me here tonight. We are out of time. It goes way too fast on here. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Maybe we'll do it again sometime when we have something else to talk about. But Jack Poynor, Michael Ganz, thank you so much, and we'll enjoy your music here coming up.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. How do I stop this? All right, guys. Thank you.